Hi, this is Brandon Moon with Leland Fly Fishing. I want to welcome you to Fly Tying Night tonight. Tonight we're going to be tying up a pheasant tail nymph variation. We really enjoy this variation of this pattern as it's very durable and easy to tie. So with that, we want to make sure and invite you to like the video, leave us a comment, subscribe, and hit the bell to receive future notification. We'll go ahead and get the hook in the vise and get started today. So for the hook on this pattern, we're going to be using the Moonlit Tagada ML501. We're tying this in a size 14 with a metallic purple moonlit slotted tungsten bead as well in a 3mm. The thread is just classic wax 12/0. Purple. We like this because it just doesn't build up much bulk, gives us a lot of control. Just good practice. I like a blade to cut that out. For the tail on this, I'm using some glint, micro glint tinsel in purple from semperfly, and I've got 6 strands in here. And I haven't trimmed this up so that it's even, so you can see there's uneven strands there. I'm just going to take and trim that out so that all my strands are nice and even. Okay, I'm just going to measure that. I want that to be about the length of the hook shank. Traditionally, on a traditional pheasant tail, this is just a pheasant tail for the knit or the tailing on this as well, and it works really good. Not quite long enough, but as we all know, pheasant tail can be pretty brittle. Just make sure all that's on the top there. And I want my flies to be as durable as possible. Make sure you don't nick that hook point very much, because I did that a couple times. Fortunately, this classic wax is pretty strong for a polyester thread. I'm just going to wrap that up to that bead. I'll trim that out. Then I'll take it and put it back in my hackle tweezers there, pliers, just so that it's ready to go for my next one. I'm going to use 0.2mm tying wire in the ice blue from semperfly. I'm going to put that in that bead in the slot. Get that back to that point. I'm going to go underneath with 2 wraps. That's just going to kind of help flare that tail out nice and straight. Now I'm going to take purple dyed pheasant tail. I'm going to take anywhere from 6 to 8 strands, and we'll secure that in right back there at that tail. Secure that down. Trim out a few of the longer pieces there that need to be trimmed out. Now I'll just go up to the bead, give a little half hitch behind it, set my thread off to the side. Now I've got another loon hackle pliers here. I'm going to take my pheasant tail, and I want to make sure I get all the fibers in there. And I'm going to twist it just a little bit. I don't want to twist it very much. It's kind of brittle. And then I'm just going to start wrapping that. And I like to keep it twisted just a little bit as I wrap it. And that just keeps my pheasant tail from flaring out. Gives me a nice clean body. So I'm going to wrap that up to the bead, where I'm going to take and tie that off. I'll go over the top twice and front twice, and front's just going to lock that in. Trim out that excess. Better make sure I secure that down nice and good. Trim that out. Now I'm going to half hitch again. You don't have to, but I'm going to use my rotary. Now I'm going to counter wrap this pheasant tail just to keep and make it as secure and durable pattern as possible. Now I've wrapped that, secured it up in. I always wrap it up almost into the bead, then I'll helicopter that out. You can see there's still a few little stragglers there. Now I'm going to take and turn this upside down because this is a jig hook. I'm going to take some semperfly, semper flash medium mirror blue iris tinsel. This is 1/32 width, so you can just use regular tinsel, but this blue iris one is a real cool color. And I'll secure that down. I'll kind of slide that, and I want to make sure that it's gonna go nice and tight. Now I'm going to take some vicuna dubbing in the floral purple. And I'll just start a nice little thorax for this. Okay. Now I've got 4 strands of the micro glint secured off again. I'm not going to worry about the tips being so even, just because of how I'm going to tie this and then trim it. So now I'm going to rotate this so that it's upside down or right side up, depending on how you look at it. I'm going to go 2 wraps over the top, and that will secure it down. And then I'll go 1 in front. That just kind of locks it, and then I can adjust it a little bit. I'll go 1 more over the top. Now I'm going to pull those strands over and just tie that in right there. Take a little more of my dubbing, and I know I could do this at the very tail end, but I always like to, for one reason or another, do it differently and not put it right at the very, very front. Okay, I'm going to use this dubbing to secure those legs down. And they're good to go. Now I'm going to take my shellback or my blue iris tinsel. I'll hold it over here and we'll secure that down with 2 wraps over the top. Peel that back, 2 more wraps in front. Now I'll trim that out. I'm going to take my legs and trim that at right about that hook point there. Okay. Now that's all done, I'm going to take and we'll half hitch. 1, 2, 3. Take and do another 3 turn. 1, 2, and 3. Now I'm just going to trim that thread out. Take a little bit of the Solares thin hard. Put that over the shell casing back there. Also into my thread, just gonna lock that in. You can see my dubbing's gonna give me a nice buggy look. We'll just cure that up. Make sure it's all nice and cured. And we're good to go. Some of this dubbing's a little bit long, I can trim it up just a little bit. And there you have a nice buggy pheasant tail nymph. This one is in purple. You can tie it in a variety of different colors. Very, very durable, an effective pattern. So this is the pheasant tail nymph variation that we like to tie and fish. We hope you enjoy this pattern. Make sure that you like the video. Make sure you leave us a comment. Hit the subscribe button and bell to receive future notification. And we look forward to seeing you again next week. Have a wonderful evening.